The alchemists delight brewing beer at home. Ever crack open a cold one and think, I could make this? Well, you're not alone. Many beer enthusiasts have had that same thought and embarked on the exciting journey of home brewing. Home brewing is more than just a hobby. It's a form of alchemy for beer lovers. It's about taking simple, humble ingredients and transforming them into something extraordinary. Imagine turning water, malt, hops, and yeast into liquid gold. The process is both an art and a science, requiring precision and creativity. The real magic happens when you take that first sip of your own creation. The satisfaction is unparalleled. Intrigued? Let's dive in and explore the world of home brewing together. This guide is your roadmap to brewing bliss. We'll walk you through each step, ensuring you have all the knowledge and tools you need to succeed. From selecting the right equipment to understanding the brewing process, we've got you covered. We'll also tackle common troubleshooting issues to keep your brewing journey smooth. Don't worry if it seems daunting at first. Home brewing is easier than you might think. With a little patience and practice, you'll become a skilled brewer in no time. Imagine the pride you'll feel when you pour your own craft beer for friends and family. It's a rewarding experience that brings people together. So grab your brewing hat and let's get started. Whether you're a complete beginner or looking to refine your skills, this guide will help you every step of the way. Cheers to your brewing adventure. Gearing up your home brewing arsenal. Before we unleash our inner brewmaster, we need the right tools. Don't worry, you won't need a chemistry lab. Here's the essential gear. Fermentation vessel. This is where the magic happens. A food-grade bucket or glass carboy will do. Airlock. This clever device allows CO2 to escape while keeping unwanted critters out. Siphon, for transferring beer without disturbing sediment. Bottles. Choose brown for best results. Bottle capper, secures those caps on tight. Large pot, at least 3 gallons for brewing. Thermometer, temperature control is key. Hydrometer, measures sugar content for tracking fermentation. Sophia, remember cleanliness is next to beerliness. Sanitize everything thoroughly to prevent off flavors. A good sanitizer is your best friend in the brewing world. Now let's dive a bit deeper into each of these essential tools and why they are so important for your brewing success. The fermentation vessel is the heart of your brewing operation. This is where the yeast works its magic, converting sugars into alcohol and CO2. Whether you choose a food-grade bucket or a glass carboy, make sure it's clean and sanitized before use. The airlock is a small but mighty tool. It allows the CO2 produced during fermentation to escape, preventing pressure buildup while keeping oxygen and contaminants out. This ensures a clean and efficient fermentation process. A siphon is essential for transferring your beer from one vessel to another without disturbing the sediment at the bottom. This helps in keeping your beer clear and free from unwanted particles. When it comes to bottling, brown bottles are your best bet. They protect your beer from light, which can cause off flavors. Make sure to clean and sanitize them thoroughly before use. The bottle capper is a handy tool that ensures your bottles are sealed tightly, keeping your beer fresh and carbonated. Practice using it a few times to get the hang of it. A large pot is where you'll boil your ingredients to create the wort, the liquid that will eventually become your beer. A pot that holds at least 3 gallons is ideal, giving you enough space to avoid boilovers. Temperature control is crucial in brewing. A good thermometer will help you monitor the temperature of your wort, ensuring that it stays within the optimal range for your yeast to thrive. The hydrometer is a vital tool for measuring the specific gravity of your beer, which tells you the sugar content. This helps you track the progress of fermentation and determine when your beer is ready to bottle. Cleanliness cannot be overstated in home brewing. Any contamination can ruin your batch, so make sure to clean and sanitize all your equipment thoroughly. A good sanitizer will help you keep everything in top condition. With the right tools and a bit of patience, you'll be well on your way to brewing delicious beer at home. Cheers to your brewing journey. Ingredients, the soul of your brew. Now for the fun part, the ingredients. These are the building blocks of your beer. Malt extract provides the sugars that yeast transform into alcohol. Yeast, the tiny workers that make it all happen. Hops, these add bitterness, aroma, and flavor. Water, often overlooked, but good water is crucial. Pierre, experiment with different malts, yeasts, and hops to create your own unique brews. The possibilities are endless. The mash, waking the grains. The mash is where we extract sugars from the malt. Steep crushed grains in hot water, around 150 degrees Fahrenheit for about an hour. This activates enzymes that convert starches into fermentable sugars. Think of it as making a giant batch of tea, but with grains instead of leaves. Hans, temperature control is crucial during the mash. Too low and the enzymes won't activate. Too high and you risk ruining your beer.
After the mash, we need to separate the sugary liquid or wort from the grains. This is called sparging.
Slowly pour hot water over the grains, rinsing out the sugars. Think of it like making coffee in a pour-over dripper.
Collect the wort in your brewing pot. You should now have a sweet, malty liquid ready for the next step, the boil.
The boil is where we sterilize the wort and add hops for bitterness, aroma, and flavor. Bring the wort to a boil and hold it there for about an hour.
Hops are added at different times during the boil. Early additions provide bitterness, while late additions contribute more aroma.
Experiment with different hop varieties and additions to craft your perfect beer.
Once the boil is complete, it's time to cool the wort and transfer it to your sanitized fermentation vessel. Now we introduce the yeast.
Yeast consumes the sugars in the wort and produces alcohol and CO2. This process, called fermentation, can take anywhere from a week to several weeks, depending on the yeast strain and temperature.
An airlock attached to your fermentation vessel allows CO2 to escape while preventing contamination. Bottling and conditioning. Patience, my friend. After fermentation is complete, it's time to bottle your beer. Siphon the beer into sanitized bottles, leaving some headspace. Add a small amount of priming sugar to each bottle to carbonate the beer. Store the bottles at room temperature for about 2 weeks to allow the beer to carbonate and condition. This is where patience comes in handy, but trust us, the wait is worth it. Troubleshooting, conquering common hurdles. Even seasoned brewers encounter hiccups. Here are a few common issues and how to address them.
Stuck fermentation. Ensure your yeast is healthy and the temperature is within the recommended range. Stuck fermentation can be frustrating, but it's often due to a few common factors. First, always check the viability of your yeast before pitching it into the wort. Yeast health is crucial for a successful fermentation. If the yeast is old or improperly stored, it may not be able to ferment the sugars effectively. Additionally, temperature plays a significant role. Fermentation temperatures that are too low can cause the yeast to become dormant, while temperatures that are too high can stress the yeast, leading to off flavors. Aim to keep your fermentation within the recommended temperature range for the yeast strain you are using.
Bottle bombs. Make sure you're using the correct amount of priming sugar and that your bottles are clean and free of cracks. Bottle bombs can be dangerous and are usually the result of overcarbonation. To avoid this, measure your priming sugar accurately. Too much sugar can cause excessive carbonation, leading to exploding bottles. Sanitation is also critical. Any contamination can lead to unwanted fermentation in the bottle, increasing pressure. Always inspect your bottles for any cracks or weaknesses before use. A compromised bottle is more likely to fail under pressure.
Off-flavor sanitation is key. Also be sure to use fresh ingredients and store your beer properly. Off-flavors can ruin an otherwise perfect brew. Common off-flavors include diacetyl, which gives a buttery taste, and acetaldehyde, which can taste like green apples. These are often the result of poor sanitation or improper fermentation. Always clean and sanitize all your equipment thoroughly. Using fresh ingredients is also essential. Old or stale ingredients can introduce unwanted flavors. Proper storage of your beer is equally important. Store your beer in a cool, dark place to prevent light and heat from degrading the quality.
Remember, brewing is a learning process. Don't be afraid to experiment and learn from your mistakes. Every brewer, no matter how experienced, started as a beginner. Mistakes are part of the journey and provide valuable learning opportunities. Experimenting with different ingredients and techniques can lead to unique and exciting brews. Keep detailed notes of your brewing process and any issues you encounter. This will help you troubleshoot problems and improve your future batches. Embrace the challenges and enjoy the process of creating your own beer. Happy brewing! Flavor enhancers. Customizing your creation. Want to take your beer to the next level? Try adding fruits, spices, or other ingredients during fermentation or bottling.
Get creative. Add coffee beans for a stout, raspberries for a tart ale, or even chili peppers for a spicy kick.
Cheers to home brewing. A toast to your success. Congratulations, you've brewed your first batch of beer.
Crack open a bottle, Pour yourself a glass and savor the fruits of your labor.
There's nothing quite like enjoying a cold one that you made yourself.
Homebrewing is a rewarding hobby that allows you to explore the world of beer like never before.
So go forth, experiment, and never stop brewing.
Cheers, S5, cheers.